Hey guys, welcome back to the Soul Locke between myself, LightsabreSMGN, and my good pal, Total Sumbro. We are here starting episode 72. We took a little break and I have my game muted, so I'm gonna fix that real fast. And yeah, welcome back guys. Last we left off, we're still doing the whole training thing. That's gonna keep going for a little bit. However, we started this conversation about what we want to see in future Pokemon games. We started a conversation about like Sword and Shield not really taking full advantage of what the Switch has to offer, and us really wanting to see a game that just makes Nintendo go, okay, our hardware, is holding us back now. So,
yes.
Sumbro, I will pitch it to you to start this off. What do you think that looks like? Do you think that's just graphics? Do you think that's different ways of interacting with the Pokemon? Maybe open world styles?
I think open world style. I think the way that Sword and Shield, where you have Pokemon actively walking out in the world, I think I'd like to see more of that. I don't think they can go back to the encounter generating after you run into it. Or if they were to do that, I'd want to see that plus Pokemon out in the world, if that makes sense. Like I'd want to see Pokemon. I want to see a world that feels lived in.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to see the ability for your friends to drop in and play with you.
Okay, a little bit of how we were talking about.
Yeah, so maybe it's not complete. In a perfect world, it's an open world MMORPG where you go through and you stop in a new Pokemon town and you go to the local town tavern to meet up with other trainers. Like, hey, what's going on in this area? You know, what are the trainer battles like, this, that, and the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see... Okay, so my answer needs to be split into two parts.
Okay.
So
part one, open world MMO.
Part one, realistically achievable, and Nintendo might do it. Like a friend can drop in, a la Animal Crossing, and play with you throughout your story, and you can experience that story together, and the progress that your friend makes while in your game holds for them. And then certain things are instance, like when you enter a gym, you enter that as an instance. Even if your friend's also playing in your world, when they enter the gym, now they're in an instance. So that you can't dual battle the gym, if that makes sense, right?
So just spitballing with that idea, if you don't mind. Do you think that it turns into our favorite game right now, at least, Final Fantasy XIV?
Yes.
In a way, like, you walk up and you talk to this NPC, like you're about to start the story bit. You talk to this NPC and they have this dialogue, and then it says, the following mission must be completed solo.
Yes. Exactly like that.
Okay.
And I'd also like to see some more RPG elements come into the Pokemon franchise. I'd like to see them come in and go like, hey, look, we've been having a real problem with Weedles here in town, okay? We need you to go, like battle
knock
some
out
Weedle.
20 Weedles.
Yeah, knock out 20 Weedles so that they retreat further into the forest away from town, right? Because they have to keep it PC for Pokemon. But I'd like to see more RPG elements. I'd like to see them keep some stuff from the other Pokemon games, like the trainer battle system, where like after you battle a trainer, you can get a call on your like phone or whatever, and that trainer can battle you again later on. So there's replayability, like as you just exist in the world. I'd like to see your player character make a physical or tangible impact on the game as you're going through, like rather than just like, oh, the big bad is defeated and then the rest of the game stays the same. I would like to see something significant happen, like within the game, throughout the story. Okay. And then I'd like to see a way for solo players to have NPC, a way to interact with NPCs to get some of the Pokemon that are only tradable to evolve.
Okay.
So that in a solo play, if you wanted to play solo, you can ultimately get every Pokemon.
That would be nice.
Now, all of that. Now, my make-believe will never happen. All of that. But more adult-themed and more visceral. I want to play through a Pokemon game as an adult. What?
There are multiple mods that do exactly that.
So I mean, like you come into a town and you go to the local bar, and you meet up with other trainers like at the bar, and then you figure out what you're going on, or like you come across a guy in Lavender Town who is just drinking himself into a stupor because he lost his Eevee and he recently buried it. I'd like to see some. That's
actually in the game in Let's Go.
Is it?
Yeah. So in Pokemon Let's Go, if you run to Lavender Town, there is a house. It's not a bar, but it's a house. And you walk in and talk to a guy, and he's literally, like, crying because of his lost Clefairy.
That's not funny. That's not funny. I'm just like, the fact that they put them that dark in a Pokemon game.
Yeah. No. When I say mods, there are a couple of... Before I continue, was that all that you were going to add for your, like...
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more Grimdark. I'd like to see more Grimdark Pokemon.
There's a mod that I distinctly remember making a splash because standard Pokemon stuff, it was a very difficult mod to beat, but they opened it with a cutscene where a Garchomp beheaded the mayor.
That's awesome.
Like, the evil team was evil from the start. You never had to wonder.
You just at the very break, you're like, oh.
You just dove in, and this was it.
Have you ever played the Dark Souls Pokemon? Someone went in and made a custom. It's like it's a stitched together, haphazard, red and blue version style map. But all the NPCs are Dark Souls NPCs. Like Black Knights and things like that, and it is incredibly punishing. Like
I've never played it now.
So it's only on PC. I played it a little bit. I had downloaded it a while back and like played a little bit of it, and I literally stopped playing because it was so punishing.
Yeah, I do not play many mods. What we're playing right now is about as modded as I've ever done.
That's
just
fair.
Randomizers. So,
what would you like to see in your ideal Pokemon game?
Like we've actually kind of already discussed. We've already kind of discussed it. Like perfect world, it is very much this MMO RPG where I think the best way to do it would be there are like each town is a hub, and you might have 10 different pallet towns loaded, but you can have 50 players per pallet town, and you're all in there, and you can have a chat window going or whatever. Like this is MMO style. And then, as you exit the town, it becomes your own instance for the routes.
Okay, so that you don't have a bunch of clutter.
You don't have a bunch of clutter, and that would enable you to still have the wandering Pokemon style, because you cannot tell me.
What about occasional PvP battle routes?
We'll get to that. Let me finish this part, though. So, like, you cannot tell me that it is possible to have routes where the player, like, you can't have route 202 have 20 people on it and have the only Pokemon populating pop out of the grass and walk around. You can't do it because inevitably there will be a lockout, and you're just gonna be stuck there going, guys, I just want my first Pokemon, but everyone beats me to it.
Okay.
So, instance
That's a really good point.
That you could enter with a party. So you would be able to party up normal MMORPG cap of like 4 or 8, where you are all in there voluntarily together. So like there's less chance of griefing, intentional or no. Unless
Pokemon
you're just that
raids?
Guy. Those exist in Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
exactly
so like that.
That's exactly what those are. But we'll get to that. So, hub cities, instanced,
Gyms.
instanced gyms, yes, instanced routes, and on release, it's Kanto. We are all starting there in Pallet Town. We get that warm introduction from Professor Oak. We walk on over and we get our choice of Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle, and we sit there, we go through route exactly as it was. And we're gonna do that, and then 6 months later, we've all beaten the Elite Four plenty of times. After you beat the Elite Four, you unlock the islands, which have PvP-enabled routes that you can check on and off. Similarly to how New World's doing it, where you have to flag yourself for PvP. You can flag yourself for battles. But you walk through, and those routes, maybe they allow 10 people on them. Maybe. I'm still iffy on that. Specifically because of what I mentioned earlier about wandering Pokemon and those getting completely eaten up.
I would want to see a mechanic. So, I would want to see PvP routes, but say you win your fight, you're immune from someone, or like the fights have to be agreed upon in the PvP routes.
Definitively.
So
Definitively.
like, yeah, so like
you can't have it to where someone can walk in there with a hacked team of 6 Rayquazas with perfect stats and mow everyone down. Because, let's face it, there will be hacks. There are always hacks.
Yeah, that's fair. That's super fair.
But, so, you've beaten the Elite Four, you've gone through the island bit, you've done what they did in Fire Red Leaf Green, which was really, really well done, that's when you were allowed to jump back in, battle the Elite for the second time, get your butt handed to you because you weren't expecting level 79 and 82 Pokemon. And then we've been coasting. We've hit several level 100s. We've taken on that little battle tower that they have, the Lost Tower, whatever it is. 6 months later, DLC drops. 20 to 40 bucks, Johto region. Hey, you want to go to the Johto region? Put everything in your box, and that's going to be your Kanto specific box. Now you're working with your Johto box.
And your raids in this style of game that we're discussing could be the legendaries. That's how you qual them. And they're rare drops.
Well, I don't know that I would make them rare drops per se, but you have to run the whole raid to get to them. So Seafoam Isles just became a raid where you walk in and the Pokemon are more of the like Gigantamax, like the hunts in.
Not even only that, but there's also story beats in them. So Team Rocket has actually taken over the Seafoam Islands, and they're actually trying to get to Articuno before you can. And you need to battle through them and the local fauna to get to and try to get Articuno. I wouldn't want to see the legendaries be a guaranteed drop.
I would, because IVs still exist.
So no. So in this scenario, Pokemon stats are relatively relatively for me.
I would not normalize Pokemon stats.
No. That's a bad. Now that I say it, now that I said it out loud, you're right. It's a bad idea. Okay.
Yeah, no. IVs still exist. Shinies still exist.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So,
but catching it is up to you. You need to make sure you come prepared with what you need to catch.
I will say this. I don't know how Sword and Shield does wild Pokemon encounters. As much as I enjoy Pokemon Let's Go from a casual perspective, it is not what I want to see in this type
It's
of
a lot easier to catch in Let's Go than it is in Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, Sword
and Shield, you fight them, right?
Yeah.
Your Pokemon, against wild Pokemon, you use your moves. You fight them. You reduce.
You have to.
Okay, good.
You have to, yeah. Absolutely.
From a grinding gamer's perspective, I hate that about Let's Go. Because we were talking earlier about how Pokemon Let's Go has a really fun shiny hunting mechanic. One that
But that's the whole game, because everything is just catch, no battle.
But hold. That's the whole game, and if you're shiny hunting So, I was watching a streamer do this. They were shiny hunting for an Eevee. 6 hours, no shiny Eevee, but they finally saw a shiny Chansey. Ran into that shiny Chansey, threw their golden raspberry, threw their Ultra Balls. 4 Ultra Balls later, shiny Chansey runs away.
And they broke their chain.
And they broke the chain. And they, like, that, to me, no. No. I don't like that aspect. Am I saying it's poorly done? No, because that was the spirit they were going with. That's the style. It's literally the entire world.
It's literally the first Eevee I've seen in this cave.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't remember an Eevee appearing on your screen. Anyways, the entire world is basically a Safari Zone from every other game in existence.
Yes. Which is fun when you start out, but gets incredibly boring when you're just grinding. By the time you've done everything, it's very boring.
Well, and also, it artificially inflates your Pokemon box so fast.
Well,
because in order to grind experience, the most efficient way is grind by catching. But, I would say don't have Let's Go style of catching. Have the traditional style of your Pokemon goes in against it. Once you beat the Gigantamax thing, you get thrown into a single fight. UV it. And your Pokemon get fully healed before the encounter. It's fully healed. And you launch yourself against this guy and you do whatever you can to knock it down to 1 HP. You false swipe, you spore. You bring all the Ultra Balls you can because you know it's still going to take 200 of them.
I am 1,000,000% listening.
Yeah, no,
so
what's you looking for over there?
So Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, if you got the special edition, it came with a controller, a Switch controller, that's actually a Pokeball. I have one. I'm concerned, I don't know where it is.
Those things sold out so fast.
I know, I was waiting in line to get one. I'm gonna have to find that at some point, because it's super cool. It's super cool.
I agree.
Like, you chuck it. Anywho's what's it?
So yeah, it has to have the traditional, like, once you go through the raid, you get to the final boss. It's Gigantamax Articuno. You guys blast at this thing, and you blast at this thing, and it definitively needs to be level synced. Like, your Pokemon, that's a level 99 Mewtwo. It's level 50 here. But what?
Yep.
Oh, that's a bad mistake. Hold on. This is dangerous.
You gonna be able to swap?
Well, we're gonna see what happens.
I don't think Surf is gonna one-shot that Dratini.
It's not. It resists it.
Does self-destruct
We're about to find out.
Get affected by amount of health?
Ooh, we good.
Just finish it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. That was a little bit unnerving. So, it has to be like you team battled down this Articuno, and then afterwards you fully healed get put into a single solo battle against this Articuno, and it's fully healed, you're fully healed, it's normal.
So you wouldn't want to see it. You would not want to see it do like Sword and Shield, where after you go through that huge battle, then it just goes into a catch. Like, after you knock out a Gigantamax Pokemon in Sword and Shield, you no longer have to battle. Like, after you've beat it, health-wise, you just go into a catch screen. Where you have a chance to catch.
So I don't know what a catch screen looks like.
Like, there's no weakening it. You just have the attempt to catch. Like, after you've battled it, you battle that Pokemon, and you bring its health down. Once what happens is, like, there's an explosion animation. The battle is completed, you've defeated that Pokemon, you bring its health down as you're battling it, and then once you go into the catch screen, like, it's catch ready, and then you have the chance to attempt to catch it.
I guess I guess I would have to see what that looks like, because that doesn't exist on any games that I've played.
Yeah, it literally is just you team battle, you knock it down, and then you literally go straight into a catch screen. Like where you, it's not battling.
There is no such thing as a catch screen in any game I've played.
All you can do is attempt to catch in the catch screen. You can run, like you can not catch it, or you can catch it. Or attempt to catch it. Like, that's it. It's a binary choice after you've beat the battle.
But you have no way of influencing your catch potential, or...
No.
Or is it like Pokemon Go raid style, where depending on how you did, you get X amount of balls to catch with?
Maybe? It's been a minute. I need to play it again. Because the answer is maybe?
Yeah. No, I would much rather have it be the more traditional, like, just as if you were walking up to the Pokemon in Fire Red Leaf Green. You walk up to that Articuno, you drop a save. Obviously, you can't do that in this scenario, but... I
would like them to keep the catch and shiny mechanics from Let's Go in this ideal version. Where, like, if I know I want a shiny Arcanine, I can hunt down Growlithe, and only, like, if I encounter something that's not Growlithe, I'm running. Right? Because you don't break your chain on encounter, you break your chain on catch attempt.
Right.
I would want to keep
that would be interesting.
I'd want to keep that mechanic.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But no, in terms of the rating for the Pokemon, I do think it would be better to, you beat it as a group, now you are involved in a solo battle starting fresh. To knock it down.
Okay.
But that solo battle is not level synced. You've beat the level sync. Now you're level 100 Pokemon with False Swipe.
Okay.
Like your Pokemon that you brought to catch.
I also want to see them keep Gigantamax. That's worth noting. In all of this, Gigantamax from Sword and Shield, phenomenal. But we're going to continue this conversation on tomorrow's episode. Guys,
okay, because I'm not done. I've got more stuff.
We're going to keep talking.
Oh, we're going to
keep talking. But, and this conversation's heating up. It's getting good. So if you made it all the way through this episode, tune in tomorrow to hear the rest of my good friend Lightsaber's thoughts on where we're at and where we want to be. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.